Good evening, classy. I welcome you to our channel, Metric Hub. I'm going to do today business studies. We are just going to be doing business studies, and today we are going to do a full paper of business studies, paper 1. I just wanna let you know that understanding the instructions per given question, per section, and per whatever party question that is given is very important. So today we are going to do business studies paper 1, and we are going to run the full paper. This full paper is just going to be all done, and everything is going to be given and explained. Without wasting our time, I welcome you again. So we are just going to go straight to our question paper, and let's just start from section A, written compulsory. Various options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. Choose the correct and choose the answer and write only the letters A to D next to the question. Question numbers which are given 1.1.1 to 1.1.5 in our answers. So question 1.1 is multiple choice. This act promotes comprehensive safety regulations for employers and employees in workplace. So we want the act that safeguards employers and employees at workplace. So you see, first question, we are saying Skills Development Act, which has everything to do with Skills Consumer Protection Act. It has to do with the safety and the protection of consumers in South Africa in general. Labor Relations Act, it has to do with work-related matters and issues at workplace. So the question wants us to talk about comprehensive safety regulations for employers and employees in workplace. It is Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act, Amendment Act 1997, Act number 61 of 1997, which is 1.1, 1.1.1. We are saying the answer is D, Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act. It is the act that is responsible for covering of employees when they are injured at workplace, and as well as employers as well. It has to do with the safety at workplace, how the workplace interactions has to be maintained. And then question 1.2, 1.1.2, so stationary applied the diversification strategy when they added cleaning material to their product range that could appeal to new customers. This has to do with diversification strategy that is in regard to adding new materials, cleaning material to their product range. The product range is actually being added with the new products in order to appeal to new customers. So what is this diversification strategy? What is the diversification strategy? We are saying number 1.1.2, it is conglomerate diversification strategy. 1.1.2, the answer is C, conglomerate, which is, we are saying it is just a strategy whereby the business adding it added materials, their product range that would appeal to new customers. So it is conglomerate diversification strategy. Diversifying, we're just saying a business is just coming up with a new way of doing of things such that it can be able to increase its sales. So we have got these different diversification strategies that are given there as to say which one is the best in terms of increasing the product range, so then it can appeal to new customers differently. We are saying it is conglomerate diversification. 1.1.3, the cashiers at Sunshine Supermarket lack the skill of how to operate the new cash registers. This is an example of a dash in a SWOT analysis. I'm sure you've heard that, you've learned that SWOT analysis, we are talking about the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities and threats that are used as an analysis technique or as an environmental scanning technique that businesses use. It can be used in order for a business to identify its strength. It can be used to identify its weaknesses, as well as the strength, such that it can also uh, build or emphasize on them. So which one is this one, where the business, where the cashiers lack the skill of how to operate the new cash registers? What is that? It falls under what in terms of the SWOT analysis elements. So it is a weakness. It is a weakness when employees, or when these are employees who does not know how to operate the new cash registers. So we are saying number 1.3.3, the answer, it is B. It is a weakness in terms of the SWOT analysis. Question 1.4, 1.1.4. Business may use dash as a source of internal recruitment to advertise available vacancies. Businesses may use dash as a source of internal recruitment to advertise available vacancies. So we are saying, in terms of recruitment, which one is an example of recruitment is an example of internal recruitment process. So we are saying number 1.1.4, word of mouth, which is A, can do, which we are saying the professional associations, it can be for external, whereby the business outsource or businesses to get employees from outside. Employment agencies, these are individuals or organizations that are used to identify potential employers and employees, linking them together, hence it is external. Networking, again, it is external, as in like a business is connecting with other business organizations or in other stakeholders that are outside in terms of broadening its operations. So we are saying for internal, it is word of mouth, where employees and or employers can just pass the word, or they can communicate amongst themselves about possible employment opportunities that are within the organization. So we are saying it is word of mouth, which is number 1.4. Next question, 1.1.5. KB manufacturers have regular control checks and procedures in place to prevent product defects. This refers to dash as a total quality management strategy. 1.1.5. What is this? We are saying KB manufacturers have regular control checks and procedures in place to prevent product defects. This refers to dash as a total quality management element. So in this regard, we are saying these are producers who are doing continuous checks, and they've got procedures that are also in place to avoiding product that can be produced with in substandards or not meeting their customer expectations or their standards. So what we are saying is, what is this type of total quality management element? Number 1.5.5, adequate financing and capacity. Note there is nothing to do with money. Continuous skills development, it has nothing to do with the skills development. Monitoring and evaluation of quality processes. Monitoring and evaluation of quality processes. Yes, we are saying there is a continuous monitoring and evaluation where business checks are done whilst the processes are running, in order to identify and avoid possible problems that might arise. So number 1.1.5, we are saying this refers to monitoring and evaluation of quality processes. It is monitoring and evaluation of quality processes in order to avoid, to prevent product defects. It is C, number 1.1.5. The answer is C. The answer is C. So what we are saying is, given these opportunities or giving these different answers, we need to understand that multiple choice is quite complex, quite many times, that sometimes learners, they make mistakes of not going through the answers very diligently, because many times that we would find out that the answers are more or less similar. But in this regard, what is happening is that we need to understand that the questions that are given there, they require us to go through the various answers, and please make sure that you exhaust the various opportunities, I mean, the various options that are there, in order for us to ensure that we don't get the wrong answer there. So please just keep informed about this, and then we would make sure that our answers are always the best, because some of the answers are there but not exactly the best anyway. So ensure that our answers are the best by going through the various opportunities or options that are given there. So that is it. Our next question is saying, complete the following statements by using the words provided in the list below. Write only the words next to the question numbers. In this regard, please take note that you just need to write the words next to the question number. So we are going to number our answer book as to say 1.2.1, and then we have got 1, we have got 1.2.2, we have got 1.2.3, we have got 1.2.4, we have got 1.2.5. So we are saying in this respect, we are supposed to give our answers in this as like just the word that is matching the given statements that are on our board here. So the question is saying, complete the following statements by using words provided in the list below. Write only the words next to the question numbers. So we are given those terminologies there: medical aid, tertiary, national credit regulator, employment insurance, and National Credit Act, as all of those was given there. 1.2.1, Express Bank must be registered with the dash in order for them to offer loans to customers. In order for Express Bank to provide loans to its customers, it must register with what? Where must it register? It must meet the National Credit Regulator standards or regulations. So we are saying 1.2.1, it is National Credit Regulator. National Credit Regulator. They must register with the National Credit Regulator. They must register with National Credit Regulator number 1.2.1. Number 1.2.2, genuine wholesalers operate in the Dutch sector as they specialize in distributing products. They are distributing products. These are wholesalers. In which sector are they specializing in? Which sector are they specializing in? Distribution. This is a services this is a services act. I mean, a services sector. So, which we are saying this falls under our tertiary sector. It is a tertiary sector that is specializing in services. It is tertiary. It is tertiary sector when a business operates in the services sector or aids to trade. It's distribution. It falls under tertiary sector. Number 1.2.3, a challenge of Pestel analysis that affect businesses' profitability due to high interest rates is known as the dash factor. Pestel analysis that affect businesses' profitability due to high interest rates is known as the dash factor, which is known as what? So we are saying interest rates, which is under our Pestel, which is political, environmental, social, technological, and legislative factors. What are under which of these does this fall under, as in terms of high interest rates? High interest rates, interest rates has to do with it has to do with the economic, it has to do with the economic factors. It is the economic factors. Economic factors. Economic, it has to do with profit, it has to do with money, it has to do with anything that has to do with wealth. So wealth and monies, these are factors that are affected by interest rates. In that regard, we are saying profitability, that is money. So it is basically economic factors. Number 1.2.4, the fund, the DASH fund is a compulsory benefit that offers short-term financial assistance to workers who lose their jobs due to illnesses. When employees have been working and they lose their jobs because of unfit health, what is it that can support them? Where are they going to get that, which we are saying it's a compulsory benefit? If you can look at it, we have got our national legislations, which also covers this. And then in this regard, we are saying under what the DASH fund, what is that fund that can give them continuous or support for a moment when they are ill after they've been working. Number 1.2.4, it is unemployment insurance fund, which you normally see people talking about UIF, unemployment insurance fund. It is an employment insuring fund that is given when employees lose jobs, UIF, which is contributed by both the employer and the employee, which would see that it is given to say that it is compulsory when somebody has been working for a time and then loses a job, the person must get it must get a financial aid or support, which is from his UIF, which is an employment insurance fund. Our next question is saying number 1.2.5, Shesha Constructions implements quality DASH by using tools and techniques to improve the quality of their products. Construction implements quality DASH by using tools and techniques to improve the quality of their products. From our list of factors or a list of ways that are used given there, number 1.2.5 implements quality DASH by using tools and techniques to improve the quality of their products. So in this regard, we are saying the Shesha Construction implements quality management by using tools and techniques to improve the quality of their products. They implements quality management. Number 1.5, it is quality management. So as you can see, we are saying it is quality management that can be used as a tool or as an approach that has to improve the quality of products in terms of business operations. In regard to, in this case, we are talking about what? We are talking about a construction business. So quality management has to be implemented in order to ensure that the services are best. Let's quickly go to our next question for the interest of time. Our next question is saying, choose a description from column B that matches a term in column A. Write only letters A to J next to the question numbers. So like I said, here we are supposed to give the answer that match or that is fitting to the term that is given here. We are supposed to write the numbers and then we only need to write the letter which is corresponding or which matches the answers that are given here. So first question is saying, learnership. What is learnership? Learnership, from our list of answers that is given there, learnership, it is E. It is E. So in 1.1.3, 1.3.1, it is E, which we are saying It is theoretical and practical training opportunities leading to a recognized qualification. We have heard of people getting learnerships in public sector and so forth, public sector, social service, and quite a lot of other government departments which might provide this. They are actually like trainings, or they are actually trainings, practical and theoretical trainings, which can enable a person to become employed through a recognized qualification. So it is E. Number 1.3.2, 1.3.2, market development. What is market development? What is market development? We need to go through our options. Market development, market development, market development. In terms of market development, we are saying market development aims at selling existing products in a new market. Market development 1.5, 1.3.2. Market development aims at selling existing products in new market. That is 1.3.2. It is G. Next question, recruitment. What is recruitment? What is recruitment? Recruitment, in this case, we are saying recruitment, from the possible options that are there, recruitment basically has to do with hiring employees, finding new employees to fill in vacancies. So 1.3.3, recruitment, it should be something that has to do with finding potential candidates for available vacancies, which is 1.3.3, which is H. It is H, finding potential candidates for available vacancies. It's recruitment. 1.3.4, total quality management. What is total quality management? Total quality management, it has to do with ensuring full involvement of all employees to satisfy customers' needs. We are saying full involvement of all employees to satisfy customers' needs. In an organization, when we talk about total quality management, it is an approach that an organization implements, that every member in an organization in his respective functional area or departments is to ensure that he provides the best in order to make sure that customers are happy or customer needs are satisfied. So it is A. 1.3.5, public relations functions. Public relations functions. What we mean, the public relations functions, it has to do with it provides regular press releases to the community. Public relations functions, an organization has to express itself to its operating community or to its community that it is operating within. So the community must understand what is actually the organization is doing, and also its expectations, as well as its fitness for purpose within the community that it is operating. So 1.3.5, it provides public relations functions, provides regular press release to community. 1.3.5, it is B. It is B, which we are saying public relations functions provides regular press releases to the community. We can go to our next question. Next question, section B. Section B, answer any two questions in this section. In this case, we are not going to answer only two questions. We are going to answer the whole paper, as we have said. We are going to answer all the questions. Answer any two questions, but for you, when you are writing, make sure that you answer only two questions. And for the best of it, start with the question that you know best, in order for you to ensure that you don't fail or you don't miss marks, and then you excel on time management and also clarity of expression. So clearly indicate the question number of each question that you choose. If you are going to answer question 2, obviously indicate to say question 2, question 3, indicate question 3. whatever question that you are going to choose, you should choose, you would choose, you need it to indicate it. The answer to each question must start on a new page. The answer to each question must start on a new page. Obviously, when you're going to start question 2, you have to start not inside the page, but on top where the page begins. Then you can go on each question as it goes like that. So we are going to question number 2. Question number 2, name any 2 consumer rights as stipulated in Consumer Protection Act, which we say CPA 2008, Act number 68. What are the consumer rights that we have? Identify the consumer rights that are stipulated, that are indicated, or that are covered by Consumer Protection Act. So in this case, I would want you to understand that you need to know our legislation. We have got various acts that you need to know. So in this case, the question wants us to talk about the rights of consumers as covered under Consumer Protection Act, question 2.1. Question 2.1, what are those rights? Consumers have right to choose. I'm sure that when you go to market, when you go to buy things, you always choose. One of the most important right, we are saying right to choose. Consumers or customers have the right to choose. What they want is they have a choice. That is the right to make a choice amongst whatever they are buying. So right to choose, it is one of the right answers, one of the best answers. Right to privacy. I'm sure that you know that when we are, as we look into our business operations and consumer corporate business environment, you understand very well that consumers have got their right to privacy, which we can say either it is their information, it has to do with what they are buying, it can be doing with their personal information or whatsoever. So we're saying the consumers have got right to privacy. Right to privacy is it's a consumer right to privacy. We can as well say right to fair and honest dealings. I'm sure that you know. Right to fair and honesty. Right to fair and honest dealings. Right to fair and honest dealings. Honest dealings. Consumers have the right to honesty, to fair and honest dealings, to say information that they are receiving, it must be honesty, it must be logical, it must be transparent, it must be non-biased. So right to fair and honest dealings with their businesses. Right to disclosure and information. Right to disclosure. Disclosure and information. We are saying consumers have the right to know what is happening, right to disclosure and information, which is, for example, you see businesses, they do advertising. Advertising is just it is part of the fulfillment of right to disclosure and information that we are saying. And then we can as well say they've got the right to fair and responsible marketing, right to fair and responsible marketing, right to fair and responsible marketing. Whereby I say businesses, when they advertise, they can't lie about their products. They have to be honest to their customers. They need to provide information that is honest as much as possible. We can as well give other points that can be there, which we can also add to say right to equality in the consumer market, right to equality when customers go to buy. No one must be given a better priority than any other. We are saying as they go, as customers are buying, right to equality is the right to make choice or right to choose, as well as right to treatment. When customers are in businesses or are in shops, in terms of their treatment, nobody should be given a better treatment than any other, either by race, by nationality, by any other reasons. All the factors, they must be treated, I mean, all customers must be treated on equal footing. We can talk about the right to fair value of right to fair value, which is to say the value of the goods must be equitable to the value of the money, that is right of fair value, I mean to fair value, and also right to quality and safety. Consumers or customers have right to equality, right to quality and safety. When they are in a business environment or business organizations, they need to be kept safe. They need to be, they cannot injure whereas they are, or they cannot be uh, robbed, any other things that we can talk about. They need safety, they need protection in any case. That's what it means. And then we can also talk about the right to accountability by suppliers. Because suppliers, they account to whatever customers or consumers are going through. They also account for that. That is a consumer right, which is also there, that the suppliers must account for their actions, they must account for their deliveries, they must account for every act that is happening within a business operation or in a business environment and market. And then next question is saying outline the advantages of diversification strategy. Outline the advantages of diversification strategies. Outline the advantages of diversification strategy. Outline advantages of diversification strategies. Advantages of diversification. What are the advantages of diversification? Advantages of diversification. What are the advantages for diversification? When business is diversifying, what advantages does it have to businesses? What are the advantages of diversification? Advantages of diversification. So one, we are saying it increases sales and business growth. When business, like we said last time, to say we identified the various ways through which business can diversify. We are saying entering into new markets, it can be entering to new products and so forth. So what we are saying is, what are the advantages for that? It increases sales and business growth. It increases sales and business. Diversification helps in business to increase their businesses to increase their sales and growth. It can also improve the business brand and image. It helps to improve business brand and image. Diversification helps businesses to improve their brand and image. It also, we can also talk about, it can also help business to reduce the risk of relying only on one product. Reduces the risk of relying only on one product. It helps business to reduce the risk of relying only on one product. Helps businesses to reduce risk of relying only on one product. What we are saying is that businesses, instead of them focusing on only on one product, they can have new product that can appeal differently to new customers. So in that regard, the business cannot suffer problems that might arise as loss of sales or loss of income, as when that product that they are working on or that they are relying on fails. So it helps to reduce the risk of relying on one product that the business might suffer its customers, its clients and stuff. It also helps business to gain more technological capability through product modification. Businesses can gain more technological capabilities, improves business, technological capabilities. We are saying diversification helps business to improve their capabilities is another point that we can as well add in this respect. Is another point that we can quickly just identify that what are the advantages of diversification. There are quite a lot which we can also give. It allows business to remain relevant in terms of business operation. A business can remain relevant because of diversifying. When certain areas are no longer functional or operational, business can as well diversify. It also improves the operational and dynamic business environment. It can as well help the business to retain their competitive edge by meeting the needs of customers, as to say the new customers and new customers. The competitive edge of a business is maintained in that regard as well. So we are saying the advantages of diversification, what are those? As we have given there. Next question, question 2.3. Question 2.3. Question 2.3, it wants us to 2.31. We are saying read the scenario below and answer the question that follow. Read the scenario and answer the question that follow. Rainbow Furniture Manufacturer took over wood furniture manufacturers to reduce competition in the market. The management of RFM evaluate their strategies regularly. So the first question is saying, identify the type of integration strategy in the scenario above. Identify the type of integration that is given above the. You remember to say we have got different business strategies. In this case, we are given an integration business strategy. So we are saying what form of integration is that? Where Rainbow Furniture Manufacturers took over wood furniture manufacturers. These are businesses which are in the same industry and also producing the same product. So in that regard, they are just joining. This Rainbow Furniture is taking over, is taking over the wood furniture to reduce competition in the market. So what type of integration strategy is this? I'm sure you can see that when businesses are on the same level, we define and refer to it as what? 2.3.1. 2.3.1. This is called horizontal integration. It's called horizontal integration. It's called horizontal integration because the businesses are on a horizontal, are on a same operating environment, same operating business level. We are saying they do the same kind of business. So in order to reduce competition, this Rainbow Furniture took over the what? The wood furniture. Hence it is called horizontal. It's called horizontal integration strategy. And then the question is saying, discuss the steps in strategy evaluation. What do we do in strategy evaluation? Discuss the steps. 2.3.2. 2.3.2, discuss the steps in strategy evaluation. What are the strategies that are used in strategy evaluation? Steps in strategy evaluation. 2.3.2, the steps in strategy evaluation. 2.3.2, what are the steps in strategy evaluation? Steps in strategy evaluation. What are the steps in strategy evaluation? Steps in strategy evaluation. What steps are there? One, we are saying what are those steps in strategy evaluation? One, in terms of strategy evaluation, we are saying we are doing performance check of a strategy to identify the areas of weaknesses in order to put corrective action. So what are the steps? What are the steps in strategy evaluation? One, we are saying increase this. One, we are saying what are those steps that are there? One, examine the underlying basis of the business strategy. Understand the underlying basis of a business strategy. Understand the basis of business strategy, the basis of business strategy is to say it is step number 1, understand the basis of business strategy. Where is the business strategy? Where is it? What is the foundation? What is the basis of the strategy there? Look, number 2, look forward and backwards into the implementation process. Look forward and backwards on implementation process of the strategy. Implementation process. To say the as in terms of evaluation of the strategy, we are saying it is very important to understand the possible threats, the possible limitations that are forward to say as a strategy is going to be taken into this regard. What are the possible processes, or what are the possible requirements and their limitations, as well as the backwards, as to say in terms of us leading that strategy, in what ways does it going to affect the business? So we look forward and backward on the implementation process. That is also compare the expected performance with the actual performance. Compare. We need to compare the expected performance. Compare the expected performance with the actual performance, with the actual performance. This is a performance, this is an evaluation strategy, which evaluation of a strategy to say they compare the expected performance versus the actual, to say what is being expected versus what is actually achieved. We need to identify the deviations or the variances that are there in order for us to see what are the areas of improvement or areas of changes that might arise or that need to be reviewed. So compare the actual performance with the actual performance in order to identify the deviations between the two. We can as well determine the reasons for the deviations and analyze them. When the comparison is done, we are saying when that comparison is done, we need to determine the reasons for deviation. Determine reasons for deviations. Determine reasons for deviations. You need to identify the reasons for the deviations and analyze the reasons. The reasons for deviations and analyze the reasons. Analyze the reasons. When deviations are found, we need to understand to say what causes the reason, what causes the those deviations or those differences, and then the analysis must be done in order to get the best outcome of the scenario. So determine the reasons for the deviation and analyze the reasons there. That can as well work, and then take corrective action so that deviations may be corrected. In that regard, we say corrective actions must be taken. Take corrective actions. We are saying take corrective action so that deviations may be corrected. Corrective action, take corrective actions. Corrective actions must be taken so as to correct deviations, so as to correct the deviations. Correct the deviations. Take corrective actions must be taken to correct the deviations that has been picked in the systems there. We are saying in order to remove, in order to correct, in order to ensure that the changes are taken into account, corrective action must be taken, and then work on those deviations that might be identified. We can as well talk about draw up a table of advantages and disadvantages of the strategy. That must be also be another thing. Draw up a table of the advantages and disadvantages of the strategy, just to analyze the advantages and disadvantages of the strategy that is being given. We can as well allow and decide on the desired outcome that will result in the achievement of the business goals. Then we are saying the business goals that needs to be achieved, it must be decided upon the desired outcome and eventually consider the impact of the strategic implementation that is in the internal and external environment of the business. The impact of the strategy implementation is in terms of which approach can be done in terms of the implementation of the what of the strategy, which is actually affected by both internal and external operating factors within the business. So therefore, we are saying that can also be a scenario that needs to be checked on. And then next question is saying, explain how business could apply the following forces of Porter's 5 forces model to analyze their position in a market environment. Explain how business could apply the following. Explain how a business could apply the following forces of Porter's 5 forces model to analyze their position in the market environment, the power of buyers, the threat of substitutes and substitution or substitutes. So we are saying, how could a business apply these in a 5 forces model for their position in the market environment? 5 forces model, power of what? Power of buyers. How could business apply the power of buyers? 2.4.1, the power of buyers, the power of buyers, the power of buyers, we can say power of buyers number 2.4, 2.4.1, 2.4.1, the power of buyers. How could a business use this, the power of buyers application on power of buyers on Porter's 5 forces model? Let's just quickly look into that. How can that be the power of buyers in, on Porter's 5 forces model? The power 2.4.1, power of buyers, power of buyers. The power of buyers in Porter's 5 forces model. So we are saying, how does that apply? The power of buyers in Porter's 5 forces model. One, we are saying in terms of Porter's 5 forces model, I'm sure that is one of the key environmental analysis approach that we also need to understand. Besides the SWOT analysis, we are saying we also have the Porter's 5 forces model. So power of buyers, we are saying the business must assess how easy it is, assess how easy it is for business, for buyers or customers to drive prices down. One, assess the influence of customers on commodity prices. We are saying assessing the influence of customers on commodity prices in terms of influencing the price of products down, in the price of their products down, and also understand if the buyers are buying in bulk. That can also cause, or are they buying in bulk, can bargain are they also, can they bargain for prices in their favor? We talk about consumer buying. Are the customers, buying? Are the customers buying in bulky? Are the customers buying in bulky? And then can they bargain for prices in the and who have the power of bargaining of prices, bargaining of, to say when customers are buying, who has got the influence in terms of determining the buying behavior in terms of the price setting, bargaining, as you said, the negotiation for the price, who has got the influence in terms of uh, deciding the prices, the pricing of the products. We can as well talk about in terms of this, they also need to conduct market research to gather more information about their buyers. Conduct market research, to gain more information about their buyers, It can also be fine. We can also talk about in this regard, what else can be done, determine the number of buyers or the importance of each buyer to the business, identify the importance of each buyer to the business. The contribution of each buyer to the business must be well understood in terms of the Porter's five forces model, in terms of the power of the buyers. How is the importance of each buyer to the business? And then also, we can also talk about one last point that I can also check to see is to say if a few they also need to check buyers that can do without the business product, buyers that can do without business products or have more power to determine the price in terms of sales. Identify the power of buyers. They need also to see the buyers that can do without the business products. Identify buyers that can do without the business product, that can do without the business products. The buyers that can also who can also run their things without the business products. And then one other point, which is also on 2.4.2, 2.4.2 again, we can as well want to talk about 2.4.2, which has to do with the threats of substitutes. 2.4.2, we're talking about threat of substitution. Threats of substitution. Threats of substitution. How does threats of substitution affect, how does it affect in Porter's five forces model? One, we are saying threats of substitution. One, business product that can be easily substituted. The business must identify business must we are saying the business must business product that can be easily substituted. Identify the product that can be easily substituted. Identify products that can be easily substituted. Those products that can be easily substituted, they must be identified. And then we need also to see that that weakens the power of the what? The power of the business in the market, which will weaken the power of business, the power of business in the market, which will weaken the power of business in the market. We can as well talk about in terms of the threats of substitute, establish whether the sellers of substitute products have improved their product. Identify whether the sellers of substitute products have improved their products. Identify whether the sellers of substitute products the sellers of substitute products. We are saying the sellers of substitute products have improved their products. Substitute products have improved their products. Have improved their products. That can also work there. We can as well talk about we can as well say check businesses selling unique products which will not be threatened by substitute products. Businesses selling unique products that will not be threatened that will not be business selling unique product that will not be threatened by substitute products. Threatened by substitute products that will not be threatened by substitute products. And then I think we can as well talk about they've also to do with assessing if customers are using substitute products or services to determine for reasons for those substitutes. As a business, it would also need to identify if customers are using substitute products as well as the reasons why would they use those substitute products. That can as well be good answers in that respect. And then we can as well go to our next question, 2.4.2. We are going to question 2.4. We are going to question 2.5. Discuss ways in which businesses can comply with Employment Equity Act. Ways in which businesses can comply with. Discuss ways in which businesses can comply with the Employment Equity Act. ways in which business can comply with Employment Equity Act. What ways would business comply with Employment Equity Act? Ways that is 2.5. Ways in which businesses can comply with Employment Equity Act. Ways in which business can comply with Employment Equity Act, which is EEA. How do businesses comply with Employment Equity Act? Ways through which businesses can comply with Employment Equity Act. One, Employment Equity Act, it has to do with the fairness in employment or in workplaces. So number one, we are saying one, businesses should guard against discriminatory appointments. Businesses must avoid discriminatory appointments where certain people are given provisions based on certain qualities or certain criteria which are not applicable to everyone. So business must avoid discriminatory appointments. Businesses must also assess the racial composition of their employees. Businesses must assess businesses they must assess businesses must assess racial composition, of employees. Even and senior management. And also even their senior management, it must be assessed. Senior management. Businesses must assess the racial composition of their employees and senior management, as in terms of to say the ratios of different representations of people in their workplace. We have got colors, we have got blacks, we have got whites, we have got all those, even in terms of tribal representation, which we can talk about, say, for example, in South Africa, which is a multiracial country, where different natives and different different races are available or are found. So therefore, in terms of Employment Equity Act, the businesses or organizations must as well look into that respect. We can as well talk about ensure that there is an equal representation of all demographics in every level of employment. Ensure proper demographic representation. We are saying ensure proper demographic representation, as in terms of the various positions and levels of employment that are available within an organization. We can also talk of about the business must also clearly define the appointment process. specify or having a well-defined and stated appointment process. Appointment process, which can as well be put as an act, as in terms of as a policy. Sorry, it can as well put as a policy in that respect. It can be put as a policy in that regard. Eliminate barriers that have an adverse impact on designated groups, organizations. Organizations must eliminate prohibitive barriers on certain groups of people. On certain groups of people, they must put in place what we call eliminate prohibitive barriers that have got problems on certain groups of people. We can as well understand that the organizations must also submit the employment equity plan to Department of Labor in order to make sure that they must also, we can say they must also submit employment equity plan, submit employment equity plan to Department of Labor. Department of Labor. And then just to add on that, we can as well provide a regular report to Department of Labor on progress in implementing the plan. We can as well submit a regular report to Department of Labor. Which is also specifying how is the organization or the business meeting up with those kind of expectations that they are asked of. And then we can say there are quite of course many other points that can be given there. They can as well compile employment equity plans that indicates how they will implement the affirmative action whenever necessary, and then as well as ensure that affirmative action measures that promote diversity are there in workplace, and then ensure the implementation of the employment equity plan. In that respect, it can as well help in defining and meeting the Employment Equity Act. We can as well, last but not least, ensure that there is ensure that diversity and inclusivity is achieved in a workplace. Hence, we can say these are some of the ways in which a business can ensure that it has met the Employment Equity Act, the ways in which a business can ensure that it has met the Employment Equity Act. So our next question is a scenario. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. You can see the question is there is a scenario given there of Catholic Logistics complies with the Labor Relations Act of 1995 by observing the rights of employees in workplace. Employees take part in legal strikes without any fear of victimization. They are also locked out by KL to prevent damages to the property. the trade union representative are given time off to attend to their respective duties. So the question first saying, quote rights of employees in terms of Labor Relations Act from the scenario above, quote the rights of employees in terms of this. As you can see, we are saying they are 2.6.1, quote the rights of employees, 2.6.1, the rights of employees, which is given this respect. We are saying these employees, if you can see there, we are given that in the scenario there, the employees take part in legal strikes without any fear of victimization. So it is right of the employees, 2.6.1, 2.6.1. We are saying employees take part in legal strikes. Employees take part in legal strikes. Employees, they take part in legal strikes without any fear, without any fear of victimization. As you can see, is that the employees are not being threatened in whatsoever means. They do strike, and then in terms of, or in their striking, without any fear of victimization, that they can be penalized or they can be charged of anyway. We also say the trade union representatives are given time off to attend their respective trade unions are given, trade union representatives are given time to attend to their respective duties. Trade union is another point here. Trade union representatives are given time off to attend to their respective duties. Time off to attend their respective duties, As we can see there, trade union representatives are given time to attend to their respective duties. It is given there to attend to their respective duties. That is very true. And then 2.6.2, explain other rights of employees in terms of Labor Relations Act. Question 2.6.2. 2.6.2, other rights of employees in terms of Labor Relations Act. Rights of employees in other rights of employees. Other rights of employees in terms of Labor Relations Act. In terms of Labor Relations Act, what other rights are there? We are saying employees must join a trade union of their choice. Joining trade union of their choice. Joining trade union of their choice is their employee rights, that one. Joining trade union of their choice. We can as well talk about refer and resolved workplace disputes to CCMA, report or refer their unresolved matters to CCMA. They have the right to refer to CCMA. We also have to right to request. They also have the right. Employees also have. They also have rights. They also have. We are saying rights to request trade union representatives to assist. Rights to request assistance from trade unions. Right to request assistance from trade unions. We can as well talk about establish a workplace forum as rights establishment. Establishment of workplace forum. Establishment of workplace forum, which we are saying whether a business is more than 100 or more employees to resolve work-related issues. They have got the right to that. Also, right to disciplinary hearing, right to disciplinary hearing. Sometimes employees may do have problems in workplace. In cases such as that, employees must always be given the right to to access or to get to disciplinary hearing. And then question 2.7, it wants us to talk about advise businesses on the strategic management process. Advise businesses on strategic management process. 2.7, question 2.7, question 2.7, question 2.7, strategic management process. Advise businesses on strategic management process. The question is saying advise businesses on strategic management process. So we are saying business should have a clear vision. When we're talking about strategic, we are saying that is in terms of business being readily alert in terms of its business functions and operations. So we are saying one, businesses must have a vision, should have businesses must have a vision, which is a long-term plan or a long-term foreseement of the business. It must have a vision. It must have a mission statement. It must have a mission statement. It must have a mission statement as in terms of what is its mission statement, which is also measurable, realistic, and objective in place. Mission statement and vision, we are saying, which is realistic and measurable in place. Measurable in place. It must be realistic and measurable. This must be realistic and measurable. It must be realistic and measurable in place. Businesses must have this. We also talk about identify opportunities, weaknesses, which are in terms of its business operating environment. We are saying another point is to do it must have its environmental scanning technique in place. Must have a proper environmental analysis technique in place. A proper environmental analysis in place, e.g., we are talking about SWOT. We are talking about, we can say SWOT, it can be SWOT. It can also be Porter's 5 forces model. Porter's 5 forces model, or it can be Pestel. Either of these or both of them can be used as approaches that can be used in terms of assessing the business operations. You understand? And then we are saying these are analysis or industrial analysis tools that must be put in place, and then formulate alternative strategy to respond to the challenges. Businesses must always must formulate alternative strategies to respond to different challenges. They must be placed, formulate alternative strategies in order to respond to various challenges the business would have. And then we also need to identify that business must develop an action plans. Develop an action plan. Develop an action plan, which we can say including the tasks to be done, deadlines to be met. It can be resources that needs to be required and procured or bought. They must be as well be indicated. Those must also be identified and must be given in that respect. They must be identified and must be given. They must be identified and must be given. So we are saying we can as well have like implement selected strategies by communicating to all stakeholders as another strategic management process that businesses must also implement selected strategies to, specific strategies by communicating to its various stakeholders and also organizing business resources and motivating staff. It can as well work. Businesses would also need to continuously evaluate, monitor, measure strategies in order to take corrective action that are relevant, that are also supposed to be done in regard to terms, in respect to what? To SWOT analysis. In regard to strategic management process. So we can list as many other alternatives that we can give, and then we can go to our next question. We can now go to our next question. Question 3. Question 3, it wants us to talk about question 3, name 2 components of job analysis. Question 3.1. Question 3.1. Name 3 components of 3.1. 2 components of job analysis 3.1. 2 components. We can talk about job description. Can talk about job description, 2 components of job analysis. We can talk about job description and also job specification. It can also be another point that we can as well need to look at. And then 3.2, it says, outline the reasons for termination of an employment contract. What might cause an employee or cause someone to say that is laid off from his position or is being released, what can be the reasons for termination of employment contract? We are saying in any case, we are saying employers must dismiss an employee for valid reasons, such as unsatisfactory job performance, one, unsatisfactory job performance, unsatisfactory job performance can cause an employee to be laid off or to have the employment contract being cancelled or being terminated. It can be due to the employer may retrench some employees due to insolvency, inability to pay the employees, not having capital or money to pay the employees, can cause somebody to be to have the employment terminated. It can be due to redundancy of the employee, redundancy of the employee, which can be such as to say an organization can upgrade its standards or upgrade its operations, which would make an employee to be to remain unuseful to the organization. As the employee is redundant, is no longer functional, the organization might find, or the institution might find, a person not being relevant with regard to the forms and terms of business operations that they are working on. Employees may also resign voluntarily for better opportunities. Resignation, voluntary resignation, voluntary resignation for better opportunities, for better opportunities by the employee. An employee might just leave the workplace because he would want to find better opportunities somewhere. We can talk about employees have reached their predetermined age of retirement. Reaching predetermined age of retirement. An employee can resign because he has reached the predetermined age of retirement, that the age that is expected to meet or to say that an employee must serve might have been reached, and then the person can as well retire, can as well have the contract be terminated. We can also talk about other points such as incapacity of work due to illness or injuries. It can be due to illnesses or injuries, which might cause an individual to retire, to have the employment being, to have the contract being terminated, which we can as well call incapacity. Failing to meet, to give a best in regards to what is expected in the position. It can be because of a mutual agreement between the two. It can be due to mutual agreement between employee and employer. Is to say both of them, they can just say, no, let's agree that the position, or there is no more position for this post. Question 3.3, read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. We are given here that there's sea view properties. SP, Seaview Properties offers attractive fringe benefits packages in order to reduce employee turnover. SP encourages employees to attend training programs. Employees are also loyal and willing to go the extra mile. What two advantages of the fringe benefits that are applicable to Seaview Properties from the scenario above? Quote two advantages of fringe benefits that are applicable or that are available to SP from the scenario above, which is say any other benefits other than the salaries and stuff. That's what we call fringe benefits. 3.1.1, 3.3.1. What are those other fringe benefits? We are saying it offers attractive fringe benefits packages in order to reduce employee turnover. Any two advantages. Advantages, we are saying when employees are given extra benefits, what are the advantages are there? What advantages are there? We are saying employees are loyal and willing to go hard, improves employees' commitment. Employees' commitment. You can see from the scenario that the employees are willing to work hard. Employees are loyal. Employees are loyal and are willing to work an extra mile. That is one point that we are talking about there. Improves employees' commitment. And then we can also talk about it reduces employee or it reduces labor turnover. Labor turnover. Labor turnover, you can see that in order to reduce employee, in order to reduce labor turnover here, employee turnover is the same as labor turnover, to say that employees are not gonna continuously just leave the organization. It improves employee commitment, it reduces labor turnover, which is also good advantages there. Explain other advantages of fringe benefits for businesses. Other advantages that are there. Number 3.3.2. 3.3.2. Other advantages of fringe benefits. Explain other advantages of fringe benefit. It improves productivity, which results in which improves. We are saying it improves productivity and hence profitability. We are saying when employees are working hard, the productivity increases. It increases productivity and finally profitability of the organization. The profitability is improved because of high production output that the organization is having. It can also be used as as an advantage or as a leverage for salary negotiation for the organization. Can be used as an advantage for salaries negotiation by the organization, can be used as an advantage for salaries negotiation. For salaries negotiations, it can be used as a leverage for salaries negotiation as well. It can also be used to attract qualified and skilled employees. Can be used to attract best qualified and experienced employees. An organization can be able to attract best employees through fringe benefits. Companies can also get what is called business may also save money as benefits. As benefits are tax deductible. 。  . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . . . 。 . . 。 . 。 . . . . . 。 . . . 。 . . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . . 。 。 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 provides tax deductions to businesses. Businesses can have tax tax deductions. That is also another advantage. 3 point, where are we? 3.3 3.4 advise business on impact of external recruitment. Advise businesses on impact of external recruitment. Impact of external recruitment. Impact 3.4. Impact of external recruitment. 3.4. We are saying impact of external recruitment. Impact of external recruitment. Impact of external recruitment. What are those? What is the impact of external recruitment? We are talking about the advantages of external recruitment. We are talking about advantages of external recruitment. External recruitment. What are the advantages? 1, new candidates bring new talents, ideas, and experiences into the organization. We are saying new candidates bring new, it brings new talents and skills in business. New talents and skills into the organization. We can have new candidates bring new talents. They bring new talents and skills into the organization. We have got, we can also talk about they provide a large pool to choose employees from. Provides a large pool to choose employees from. We can also talk about enables external recruitment. It enables organizations. It enables organizations to meet their BEE. Their BEE expectations or target. It helps organizations to meet their BEE targets, which is also another good advantages. It also minimizes conflict among its current employees. It helps to minimize conflicts. It helps to minimize conflicts among employees. Employees' conflict is reduced. It helps to minimize conflicts among its employees. Among its employees, we are talking about current. To say the conflict management process becomes simplified, and then also reducing unhappiness, which can also be an adverse effect upon or towards the organization. There is also there is a better chance of getting suitable candidate with the required skills. That can also be another advantage that can be given there. We have got new employees may add value to the overall efficiency and productivity of the organization is other points that we can as well add there. And we can also talk about competencies which might not need to be developed or trained, can be sought at a less cost by the organization as any other advantages or points that can be added with regard to this external recruitment. And then you see the question is saying it wants us to impact of external recruitment. Hence, we would also need to talk about the disadvantages of external recruitment. The disadvantages. What are the disadvantages? Disadvantages. Disadvantages of external. Disadvantages of external recruitment. What are the disadvantages, which we can say negatives of external recruitment? We can say one, information on CVs or referees may not be reliable. Information on CVs may not be reliable as a disadvantage. CVs or referees may not be reliable. May not be reliable. People sometimes they do lie on their CVs. That can be a disadvantage there. That can be a disadvantage there. We have got also many unsuitable applications can slow down the selection process. It is time consuming. That is going through main applications that are available, going through main available applications. We are saying it is time consuming, and also it can also be time consuming that can be also a point to talk about. And then external sources can be expensive. External sources can be expensive. External sources can be expensive is a disadvantage. We are talking about such as recruitment agencies that might be referred to. We can talk about advertisements which might need money. They are expensive external sources that we can talk about there. And then external recruitment may limit promotion and growth opportunities, which may also cause resentment among its employees. It may limit promotions. It may limit promotions. It may, we are saying it may limit promotions or growth opportunities. Growth opportunities. Growth opportunities among its employees. Among its employees, which will resulting in resentment. Resulting in resentment, where employees end up being frustrated by working too long without getting any other promotions or any other notches that would also affect them. So in that respect, we are saying it would also cause it would also cause resentment amongst employees. That would cause resentment amongst employees. And then question 3.5, outline the quality indicators of the production function. 3.5, quality indicators of production function. Quality indicators of production function. Number 3.5, 3.5, quality indicators of production functions. So we need to identify the quality indicators of production function, quality indicators of production function, to say if a department is working, what is it that we can identify to say that there is quality of service in production, quality, I mean, in terms of the production function, quality indicators in production function. Quality indicators in production, quality indicators in production function, quality indicators in production function, quality indicators in production function. What are those items that we can talk or which you can identify to say that they are there to indicate quality in production? One, we are saying provide high quality product and services according to specification. Provision of high quality products or services. Production of high quality products or services. Production of high quality products or services. Quality products or services, which we are saying according to specifications. Quality or services according to specifications. Quality services according to specifications. According to specifications. According to specifications. We are saying one can be that one. Number two, we can talk about two businesses should clearly communicate their roles and responsibilities. A business must clearly communicate their roles and responsibilities to their production workforce. Clear communication we are saying one, two, clear communication of roles and responsibilities to clear communication of roles and responsibilities. Roles and responsibilities to production workforce. Production workforce. We can as well talk about empower workers so that they can take pride in their workmanship. Empowerment of workers. Empowerment of workers. Empowerment of workers. Empowerment of workers. Empowerment of workers is a quality indicator, so therefore they can take pride in their workmanship, in whatever they are doing. We can talk about services should be produced at lowest possible cost. Products or services must be produced at lowest possible cost. must be produced at lowest possible cost. Lowest possible cost. Products and services must be produced at lowest possible cost. We can also talk about monitor processes and find root causes of the production problems. Identification of causes of production problems. Problems that are in the production function or production processes must be identified. We can talk about implementation of quality control systems. Implementation of quality control. Implementation of quality control systems. Quality control systems, which we are saying implementation of quality control systems that ensure quality products are consistently produced. It can be another point that we can give there. And then we can also talk about utilize machines and equipment optimally. Utilize machines and equipment optimally. Optimally, there are also other points that we can also add in that regard. We can also talk about accurately calculated production costs. Accurately calculated production cost. The costs that we have been incurred in production must be correct and well balancing. That is quite correct and that is quite important. And then appropriate selection of production systems. Appropriate selection of production systems. Appropriate selection of production systems. These are all quality indicators which we can talk about production systems, such as we can talk about mass production, we can talk about batch production, or it can be also jobbing production. And again, these all must be quite clear. We can also mention other methods to do with product that meet customer requirements by being reliable and durable. There are also other points of quality indicators in terms of the production function. Quality indicators in production function. So number 3.6, explain the role of quality cycles as a part of continuous improvement to processes and systems. Explain the role of quality cycles as a part of continuous improvement to processes and systems. 3.6, 3.6, 3.6. You see, we just want to quickly push and get done with our paper. The role of quality cycles. Role of quality cycles. Role of quality cycles. You can say the role of quality cycles. Sorry. Question 3.6. 3.6. It wants us to talk about role of quality cycles as part of continuous production. Role of quality cycles. Role of quality cycles as part of continuous improvement, as part of continuous improvement, as part of continuous improvement, row of production cycles, row of production cycles as part of continuous improvement, as part of continuous improvement to processes and systems, to production, as part of improvement to processes and systems. So the role of quality cycles as part of continuous improvement to processes and systems. So what is it that is helping there? One, we are saying it helps to solve problems related to quality. It solve problems related to quality, solve problems related to quality and implement improvements. And implement improvements. What else can we say there? Role of quality cycles. Number two, we are saying investigate problems and suggest solutions. It helps to investigate problems and suggest solutions. Investigate problems, suggest solutions, which can be given to management, which can be given to our management. We can also talk about ensure that there is no duplication of activities in workplace. It helps to avoid duplication of activities in workplaces. Avoid duplication of activities in workplace. It also helps to make suggestions for improving processes and systems. Make suggestions for improving processes and systems in workplace. Suggestions for improving processes and systems in workplace. In workplaces. What else? It also helps in monitor and reinforce strategies in terms of running business operations. Monitoring and reinforcement of strategies to improve smooth running, reinforcement of strategies, strategies that can be used to smooth running of businesses, strategies to improve smooth running of processes. Smooth running of processes. We can also talk about it also helps to improve morale and motivation of employees. Improve the morale and motivation of employees. It helps to improve the morale and motivation of employees. It can also help to improve the employees' loyalty and commitment to organization. Improve employees. It helps to improve employees' loyalty and commitment. Loyalty and commitment towards organization, towards the business. We can as well talk about it also helps to improve employee communication at all levels. Improve employees communication at all levels. At all levels within the organization, at all levels in an organization. At all levels in an organization. There are quite many. We can as well talk about improve the positive attitude and sense of involvement of employees. It can as well help in terms of decision-making processes of services there. It can as well help to improve or create health working business relationship between employee and employers. We can as well maybe identify to say that it increased the demand for products as in business, increase the demand for products, increase the demand for products in business. These are also quite good advantages or quite good points to put in regard to terms of role of quality circles, which we can as well identify as in terms of health working relationship. Health working relationship between employer and employees. Between employer and employees. These are quite good advantages there. 3.7, question 3.7. Question 3.7, it is also asking us 3.7, question 3.7, question 3.7, question 3.7.1. Read the scenario below and answer the questions. Corpus Motorspace is a large business that sells different car parts across the country. They perform checks during and after the production process. KMS also implements total client customer satisfaction to keep ahead of the latest developments in the market. Question 3.7.1, identify the quality concept implemented by KSM in the scenario. 3.7.1, identify the quality concept that is in that regard. As you can see, we are saying they perform checks during and after the production process, and also implement total customer satisfaction to keep ahead of the latest development in the markets. So in this regard, 3.7.1, it would need us to understand to say this is a quality that is 3.7.1, 3.7.1, 3.7.1. The answer in this regard should be quality assurance, as we can see. Quality assurance. This is quality assurance, as in this regard to say that the question, it wants us to see that They are actually making sure during the production process and after the production process, as in order to avoid inconveniences. So it is 3 points. The quality concept implemented is quality assurance in this respect. 3.7.2 discuss the impact of total client satisfaction as a total quality management element on large businesses. Impact of total client satisfaction, the advantages of 3.7.1, 3.7.2, 3.7.2. It wants us to talk about impact of total client satisfaction, total client or customer satisfaction, client or customer satisfaction, the advantages. We are talking about the advantages in this case. The advantages of total client or customer satisfaction. Advantages of total customer or client satisfaction. The advantages. One, in terms of large business, we are saying one, it can be used to continuously promote a positive business image. It helps to promote continuous positive business image. Promote continuous positive business image. Positive image, business image can be built there because of total client satisfaction. Good client satisfaction helps to create good business image. It ensures that it can also be used, business can use it as market research, can be used as market research, can be used as market research in order to check customer surveys and make sure and monitor customer satisfaction. Market research or customer survey. It can be used for customer survey to check their customer needs and expectations. It can also be used to understand and fulfill customer expectations. To fulfill and meet customers expectations. It can also help in gaining access to global market. Businesses may gain access to global markets. Businesses can gain access to global markets. As you can see there, businesses can gain access to global markets. We can also talk about large business may be able to gain access to global markets, as I've indicated there, which may also lead to increase competitiveness and profitability. Help to improve competitiveness and profitability. Business can improve their competitiveness and profitability in this regard, in that respect of total client or customer satisfaction. It can also help in terms of businesses in ensuring that cross-functional teams understand their core competencies. Ensure that cross-functional teams, they do understand understand their core competencies. Functional teams understand their key competencies. They can understand their key competencies as in that respect. And then maybe we can as well ensure that it helps in terms of aligning cross-functional teams across critical areas, identifying critical areas. Critical areas and fulfilling them. Identifying critical areas and fulfilling them. Critical areas can be identified and can be fulfilled through total quality management. We are saying they can be identified and fulfilled. And then we can as well quickly give the negative disadvantages of it, the disadvantages which we can say negatives of these, the disadvantages. One, monopolistic businesses may have an increased bargaining power. Monopolistic, we are saying monopolistic businesses, monopolistic businesses may have an increased bargaining power. May have increased bargaining power, increased bargaining we are saying businesses that are dominating the big giants can have increased bargaining power, so they do not necessarily have to please customers, resulting in failure to meet customer expectations, resulting in failure to meet customers' expectations. So in terms of that, businesses being monopolistic, they no longer consider customers' feelings or issues. Hence, they will just focus in terms of just manipulation of customers, which will be sometimes be difficult in terms of the customer satisfaction motive, as in terms of the reasons for business existence. We can also talk about sometimes not all employees may be involved, which results in what? In dissatisfaction. Not all employees may be involved, which might cause demoralization of some of those employees who are not involved in that respect. And other customers or other customers, sometimes they do not want to be in contact with customers. I mean, other employees may not want to be in contact with customers. We are saying certain times employees do not want to be in contact with customers. Hence, they do not know what customers want. They do not know what customers. Sometimes they do not know what customers want because they don't really have, or they don't understand. They don't want to be in contact with customers. The last question, 3.8 on question 3, last part of this question, 3.8, question 3.8, question 3.8 is saying advise, question 3.8, it wants us to say question 3.8, advise businesses on the benefits of good quality management system. Advise businesses on the benefits of good quality management system. As you can see, this question, we once answered it already in our previous questions there, as to say benefits of good quality management system. Good quality management system, we can talk about effective customer service are rendered in terms of good quality management system. 3.8, 3.8, we are saying, productivity increases through proper time management. Productivity increases through proper time management. Proper time management. Productivity increases through proper time management. We can also look at factors such as to say vision and mission may be achieved. Vision, mission, the goals of business may be achieved. The goals, mission of the business may be achieved. We can also have advantage to do with businesses have competitive edge against its competitors. Businesses have competitive edge they do have competitive edge against their competitors. Competitive edge against competitors. They do have competitive edge against competitors. We can talk about improving business image, improvement of business image. It helps to improve business image. Improves business image. Improves business image. We can again talk about a health working relationship in an organization. Creates a health working relationship. Health work relationship. In workplaces. Creates health working relationship in workplaces. We can have many other points, of course, that we can as well put in this regard, which can be determined resources can effectively be used. We can as well talk about effective customer services being provisioned, resulting in increased customer satisfaction. We can as well identify points such as these services or products are constantly improved, which would also result in customer satisfaction at all levels. These are some of the points that we can add in this context. There are also points that we can add in this context. So, having said that, we can just quickly check our next question. We can just check our next question quickly. Question number 4. Question number 4, you see, the question would also want us to read a scenario and then we answer the question that are following there. I mean, like, I'm just going to quickly identify and give and list these points. As you can see, this question number 4, it looks in business environment, which is more or less similar to the question that we have identified in the previous question that we have answered there. We have answered questions such as that. But of course, in this context now, the question would want us to look at the provisions, name any provisions of the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, the provisions of Basic Conditions of Employment Act, as to say in workplaces, what are those things that are checked there? Name 4 provisions of the Basic Conditions of Employment Equity Act. Question number 4.1. Question number 4.1. We have 1. It identifies the conditions of termination of employment. Termination of employment. Termination of employment is provisioned there. It identifies provision of employment. It's prohibition of employment of children, forced labor, Basic Conditions of Employment Act, prohibition of employment of children, and forced labor. And forced labor, we can talk about regulation of working time, They are all conditions that are identified in terms of Basic Conditions of Employment Act. It also identifies particulars of employment and remuneration. Particulars of employment and payment. Remuneration. Particulars of employment and remuneration. And then it can also identify item to do with types of leaves. Types of it identifies types of leave available. E.g., we can talk about the sick family leave, e.g. sick. We can talk about family leave. We can talk about maternity or paternity leave. We can talk about annual leave. All these varied types of leaves are also stipulated in the provision of Basic Conditions of Employment Act. 4.2, it wants us to read the scenario and answer the questions. Zalo Enterprises sells a variety of products to different customers. ZE, as abbreviated, always receives stocklet from smart wholesalers. The management of ZE has difficulty in dealing with unproductive employees. So our questions are there. Question 4.2.1, it wants us to identify the challenges, quote 2 challenges of ZE from the scenario. 2 challenges. We are saying 1, it always receives stocklet. Receiving stocklet. Receiving stocklet is a challenge that is there in the scenario. Receiving stocklet, they receive the stocklet is a challenge that is there. We have got the challenge of we are saying is another challenge which I have management of it is difficulty in dealing with unproductive employees. Dealing with unproductive employees. With unproductive employees. It's a challenge that is given there. Dealing with unproductive employees, it's a challenge that is there. Question 4.22, classify challenges according to the business environment. We are saying what which environment are they falling in? 4.22, receiving stocklet, it falls under market environment. It falls under market environment in terms of receiving stocklet. Dealing with management, dealing with unproductive employees. This has to do with micro environment. Micro environment. And then next question, it wants us to talk about the extent of control that ZE has over each of the business environment named above. How much control in terms of the market environment, because it is external. We sometimes have partial control, or businesses have got partial control there. They can also have some limited or little control. Limited or little control. Little control is given in that case. And then in terms of the microenvironment, which we are saying it is within the organization, businesses have got full control in terms of this. Businesses have got full control in terms of dealing with their employees. They can have full control as it is as well internal. As it is internal, they can deal with those people decisively. Types of defensive strategies. Discuss any 2 types of defensive strategies, which is question 4. 2 types of defensive strategies. Types of defensive strategies. The types of defensive strategies. 4.2. Any 2 types of defensive strategies. 1, we are saying the types of defensive strategies we have got. We can talk about 1, retrenchment. Types of defensive strategies. Types of defensive strategies. We say A, we can talk about retrenchment. Retrenchment, whereby we are saying it has to do with terminating the employment contracts of employees for operational reasons. terminating employees' contracts due to operational reasons. Due to operational reasons, employee contracts are terminated due to operational reasons. We can also talk about decreasing the number of product lines, as in terms of decreasing the number of operational lines. Operational lines as in terms of closing certain departments. Certain departments are closed. Closing certain departments such that employees may become redundant. Some employees becomes redundant. We can talk about liquidation as another strategy as another defensive strategy that can be given as number 2. We said types A there, we say number 2 here. Liquidation. Liquidation, a business can selling all assets. It can be selling also all assets to pay creditors, to pay creditors due to lack of capital. Due to lack of capital. Due to lack of capital, hence a business can sell the assets in order to pay its creditors there. We can also talk about business can as well sell the entire business in order to pay shareholders a fair price for their shares. Selling entire business to pay shareholders their share price, to pay shareholders their share price. Their share prices. So we are saying businesses sometimes can sell the whole business in order to pay the shareholders, who we are saying the investors might need to be paid. Hence, a business can sell the entire business to pay the shareholders their monies. It can also done by allowing creditors to apply for forced liquidation in order to have their claims settled. Creditors can apply for forced liquidation. Creditors can apply for forced liquidation. For forced liquidation in order to have their claims settled. In order to have their claims settled. So creditors can also force organizations. Creditors can apply for forced liquidation in order to have their claims settled. That can be another form of liquidation, or another way in which business can be forced into liquidation. So it is a form of raising money so as to meet some operational expenses that a business might not have managed from its from its normal operations. Hence, it would have to do some forced liquidation. That can be a reason for that. That can be a reason for liquidation. Of course, we do have also another form or another type of defensive strategy, which can be divestment, which can be number 3. But the question, of course, wanted 2, but for the interest of clarity and revision, we can have divestment. Divestment. In this case, we are saying disposing or selling some assets which are no longer profitable or productive. Disposing or selling some assets that are no longer profitable or productive. So that is divestment. We can also talk about, in this case, it can also be done by selling off divisions or product lines with a slow growth potential. Selling off divisions or products selling off divisions or product lines with slow growth potential. So in this regard, a business is just trying to identify or to find cash by disposing non-profitable areas or non-profitable operations or products in a business, which would say that if they are non-profitable in that regard, they are just wasting or they are no longer giving proper profits. Hence, a business can sell those divisions that are not profitable enough. They can be also product lines with slow growth potential in order to raise money and provide or inject it in more profitable areas. It can also be doing with withdrawing their investment shares. We can talk about withdrawing investment shares in another business. Investment shares in another business. So this is the investment. Divestment is to say the business is actually getting rid or trying to maximize on more profitable areas and then decreasing the number of shareholders by selling their ownership, which would also enable a business to survive by reducing their dividends or their share profit sharing that can be given at the end of the day. Those are some of the ways through which a business can do in order to invest. So these are quite means that businesses can try to survive with. So as we can see, defensive strategies, these are measures which businesses will always put in place whenever possibilities of survival or ways of surviving have come to an end, and then things are too difficult. There is no cash flows that are there. So in that respect, businesses would need to they need to raise money, which should be used in terms of its operations or in order to survive. That's the idea in this respect. Our next question is saying, advise businesses on the role of SETAs in supporting Skills Development Act. The role of SETAs in supporting the role of setters setters in supporting Skills Development Act. Role of setters in supporting Skills Development Act. The role of setters in supporting Skills Development Act. What is the role of setters in supporting Skills Development Act? The role of setters in supporting Skills Development Act is our next question, 4.4. Question 4.4. Role of setters. Role of setters in supporting role of setters in supporting Skills Development Act. So in this question, we actually just need to understand what is the role of setters. They promote and establish learnerships. One, promote and establish learnerships. Sitters, they are the ones which promote and establish learnerships. They actually promote and establish learnerships. Sitters, they two, they collect levies and pay out grants as required, which is from the various stakeholders. They do collect levies and pay out grants as required. And pay out grants as required. Collect levies and pay out grants as required. Collect levies and pay out grants as required. That's another point that they do. Sitters also provide accreditation for skills development facilitators. Provide accreditation. They do provide accreditation. They do provide accreditation for skills development facilitators. Skills development facilitators. They provide accreditation as in terms of the authenticity of the qualification that are provisioned or provided by the various sitters there, by various training centers and stuff. They also register learnerships, register learnership agreements. They register learnership agreements, as to say students who are going to be who can be trained under specific learnerships. The contracts are supposed to be registered by their specific sector which the learners are enrolled under. They also draw up skills development plans. They draw skills development plans. The skills development plans in line with National Skills Development Strategy, which are in line with the skills development strategy, skills development plans that are in line with skills development plans that are in line with skill development strategies. They also provide training material. Sitters provide training material. Provision of training material. for various programs that the learners are to be involved in. Training materials for the facilitators, which the learners are going to be trained with. Provision of training material is another point that we need to take note of again. Pay out grant to business that are complying with the requirements. They do pay out grants to businesses, businesses that are meeting to businesses, saying they pay out grants to businesses that are meeting the specific compliant requirements, meeting specific requirements. Businesses meeting specific requirements, they do receive grants as in terms of the skills development, We can have any other programs that we can, answers that we can give there. Identify suitable workplaces for practicals and for practicals. That can also be a good point there. Identification of suitable workplaces. Suitable workplaces for practicals, for practical work experience. For practical work experience of the learners, for practical work experiences. For practical work experiences of the students or learners. These are quite good advantages or expectations or provisions that are expected from SETAs. SETAs as sectorial education training authorities. They do provide those kind of functionalities. They provide those functionalities. And then question 4.5. Our question 4.5 outline the placement procedure as a human resources activity. Outline placement procedures. Outline placement procedures. Outline placement procedures. Outline placement procedures. Placement procedures, which is question 4.5. Question 4.5, placement procedures. Placement procedures 1, they should be specific responsibilities of the new position must be outlined. Specific responsibilities of the new position must be clearly outlined. Specific responsibilities of the new position must be clearly outlined. That is point number 1. Determine the successful candidate's strength and weaknesses. Placement procedures. Determining the candidate strength and weaknesses. Determining the candidate's strength and weaknesses. That is supposed to be done, which can be done through either psychometric testing that can be given there by in order to check the candidate there. And then I determine the relationship between the position and the competencies of the new candidate. determining the relationship between the position and the competencies of the new candidate. So we are basically saying the candidate who is hired must be evaluated on a merit or on a scale to identify, to say, does the learner, or does the candidate really fit in according to the job specifications that are outlined versus what the candidate has, in order to ensure that we always have what we can be able to have our relationship or our placement being comprehensive, the placement to be very complete enough. Question 4.6, explain two salary determination methods. 4.6, question 4.6, explain two salary determination methods. Salary determination methods, 4.6. Salary determination methods. Salary determination methods. Salary determination methods. We can have one, piecemeal. Workers are paid according to the number of items or units produced. Workers are paid according to number of items or units produced. According to number of items or units produced, if an action performed, that is piecemeal. And then workers are not remunerated for the number of hours worked. Number of hours worked is not used in remuneration. Number of hours worked is not used in remuneration. And then what else? We can as well add this one. Another point is to say it is mostly used in factories, particularly in the textile and technology industries. It is mostly applied in factories or technology industry. Technology industries. These are some of the elements or conditions or places where it can be used. And then we can also have number 2, we said piecemeal as first method. And then second method, which we can say is time related. Time related payment. Time related. Workers are paid according to the amount of time or hours they spend at work. In this regard, workers are paid according to time spent, according to time spent at work. according to time spent at working, according to time spent at work or on task. That is time related. Workers are paid according to time spent at work or on task. In this respect, again, class, you need to understand as well that workers with the same experience or qualifications are paid on salary scales regardless on the amount of work done. Is another point that must be noted. Workers with the same qualification with the same qualifications or experience are paid on salary scales, are paid on salary scales, are paid on salary scales regardless of work done. Regardless of work done. Workers with the same qualifications or experience are paid on salary scales regardless of work done. And then in other words, again, it is important to understand that it is mostly used by many private and public sector businesses. They normally use this. It is mostly used by it is a method mostly used by both private and public sector. It is mostly used by both public and private sector. It is a method that is mostly used by both public and private sector. That is one key thing that we must understand. And then our last question that we just have to look at is it's a scenario again that we just need to quickly look at and then answer the questions that are there. 4.7, read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Foschini Limited uses aggressive advertising campaign to increase their customer base. Jabu, the senior manager, draws up budgets to ensure accurate application of monetary resources. Identify two business functions that are applicable to VL. Motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. Business functions that are applicable there. We are saying aggressive marketing, and then there is also the issue of the senior manager draws up budgets to ensure accurate application of monetary resources. So in this regard, this question, we can say business functions that are available or that are applicable here. We have got a marketing function here. We have got marketing function. We have got marketing function as it is supported by aggressive marketing there. I mean, supported by aggressive advertising campaigns. There's aggressive advertising. Aggressive advertising supports marketing function there. We have got financial function. We have got financial function here. The financial function, how is it being supported? We are saying Jabu, the senior manager, draws up budget to ensure accurate application of monetary policy. Budgets to meet monetary policy, to meet the monetary policy, in this case, to meet the monetary policy. We are saying budgeting, there is financial function, there is marketing function, which is these are functions which are supported by advertising in terms of marketing, and then financial function, which is supported by the budgets that are there in order to meet the monetary policy, which is also monetary policy or monetary resources functions that, the monetary policy that is also in this monetary resources that is also within this context. And our last question, question 4.8, recommend ways in which total quality can reduce the cost of quality. Total quality, this question, obviously, like I'm saying, it is one of the questions that we actually started with. We have answered it some in above there or in previous questions. As you can see, these questions of that we are answering, they sometimes continuously repeat here and there in different party questions. So actually, like ways in which total quality management can reduce cost of quality. 4.8, question 4.8, ways in which total quality management can reduce cost of quality and reduce cost of quality. Ways in which total quality management can reduce cost of quality. One, it helps in terms of schedule activity to eliminate duplication of tasking. Schedule activities to reduce duplication of activities. Activities cannot be duplicated by having a schedule of activities. Activities can be scheduled properly. We can also have to say that employees must be trained at all levels. Training employees at all levels. Training employees at all levels, which we can show that everyone understands their roles and duties towards quality management. We can also talk about one other point, share responsibilities for quality output among its management. Share responsibilities. Share responsibilities. Share responsibilities for quality output. Quality output. For quality output among its management and workers. Among its management and workers. And then we can also reduce investment on expensive but effective inspection, reduce investment on expensive processes, reduce investment on expensive, reduce investment on expensive but effective inspection procedures in workplace processes, but focus on effective inspection. Effective inspection. Focus on effective inspection. We can also add as to say it helps in terms of develop work systems that empower employees. Development of work systems of work systems that empower employees. That empower employees. Employees to find new ways of improving quality. That empower employees find ways of improving quality. Find ways of improving quality. Find ways of improving quality to find ways of improving quality. And then last but not least, schedule activities to duplicate activities and tasks, and then reduce investment on expensive ways of doing business, and then also improve communication about quality challenges and deviations. Improve communication about quality challenges and deviations. Challenges and deviations, so that everyone can learn from the past experiences. This will help employees to work and learn from their past experiences. I thank you so much, and I'm sure that we are going to have a very fruitful and effective study. And thank you so much. All the best in this recording and in this lesson. We are going to meet again in our next recording, which we are going to talk about, or which we are going to do our paper 2 and paper 1. Keep connected and keep following. Don't forget to subscribe, so therefore you can keep connected. Thank you very much, and all the best towards our mid-years, our preparatory, and our end of year examinations. Thank you.